We have a very special guest today, Vipul. Tell me one thing that you feel is weird about you.
Sometimes I don't know when to stop.
But in this case, you knew where to stop.
What teaching taught me. Patience.
Ready for one-word answers, rapid fire, bits or corporate life, startup founder or corporate leader. One app you cannot live without.
Chess.com right now.
Early morning person or late night thinker.
Late night thinker.
You said you think a lot, so I assume you are a late night. Hi everyone, welcome back to our Sorele podcast. We have a very special guest today, Vipul, who is a very close friend. He works as a senior director at JioHotstar, is a BITS alumni and worked with multiple companies across functions. Welcome to our podcast, Vipul.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing today?
I am well. Thank you for inviting me. I'm hoping to have some fun.
Yes, we would have some fun for sure. Let's see where this podcast goes.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll be asking you some interesting questions. And let's start with your journey from BITS to where you are today.
Wow, that's been not a straight road, as I would call it. I've spent my first couple of years of post-college life figuring out what I wanted to do. Though I haven't yet, but first 2 years was basically across 4 different companies. The most exciting thing I did during that time was to actually teach in the school that I studied at. And I used to teach class 7th and 8th kids. And the best thing that I have done in my life till now is stood in my teacher's room, and I gave them a presentation on how to teach. So I think that's the best thing that I have done.
Did it come from some biases?
It came from my own learning of having been taught by them. No, but it also came from what I learned in BITS actually, where the most important thing that I learned at BITS is we had 0 attendance. So it was like we were the master of our fate and our time as well. So you were just encouraged to figure out what you want to do with your time. And that's what I wanted to sort of encourage in how I wanted to teach. That's what I basically told my own teachers how to teach. And second was basically to be able to question basic fundamentals. So I used to teach the class in a way where the first 5 to 10 minutes was for students to come and question anything that we have been taught, everything that they want to share, any story that they want to share. So there used to be a lot of giggle, etc. in the class, and I would only teach for 30 minutes. And the last 5 minutes was about they could ask anything from today's concept to any concept that they want to know about. So an open dialogue conversation is basically what I sort of built out myself. And then my school principal saw me teaching one day and he was like, hey, can you tell others how to teach? I was like, what are you saying? Ye log 20 saal se padha rahe yaar. So, but that was fun. That's the most interesting thing that I did at that point. But I think at that point, around 2015, startups were coming up and I wanted to do something like, with a very early team. I didn't think I had that much clarity what I wanted to do, but I reached out to a few early teams, ended up joining nearby.com. Started working for the product team there. Was working with Variku at that time. Spent 2 years there. Was very enriching in terms of the kind of people that I got to work with. And then I spent the next 4 years with Flipkart, where I was part of the user experience and growth product teams, where I've built products for different categories, mobile phones, fashion, etc. And sort of built a few 0 to 1 things. I'm proud to also share some of the things that I built then still continue. So whenever I use the app, I feel nice. And then I spent a year heading an edtech product in Indonesia. That was very interesting, but at the same time, very, very challenging because a new user set, a new geography, a new language, and also trying to raise our Series A at the same time. So that was a fun journey. And then I took a break for a little while because by that time I had not figured out which direction I wanted to go in. And when a founder was kind enough to reach out, and then I ended up entering the space of media and entertainment, again looking at product for a game streaming company. And around that same time, Geo Cinema was growing, and then they were expanding the team, and then that's how I ended up joining them. So I've been with them for more than 2 years now. And yeah, that's a bit of what I've been up to. Um, but my teaching streak has continued over the years. So I've also been a teaching assistant at Ashoka University for the Young India Fellowship. I've also been a teaching assistant.
That was when you were working
Yes,
simultaneously.
yes. So I was doing weekend classes for them, and weekdays those classes used to be post 5 o'clock, so I could manage. But that was a interesting journey for 2 months, and then I was a teaching assistant for Vedika scholars as well. Same professor, same course. I was taking up mathematical thinking. So I've had some fun deviations, I would say, but all of that basically learn to where I am now. I actually will start from what teaching taught me. Patience.
Patience. Do you think you didn't have patience before?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think a lot of human beings are wired in the way they operate, right? That's the first instance that instinct that kicks in. So when the first few times I was teaching kids specifically, I was like, this is a too easy concept. Now I've explained it in as simple terms as possible. Why haven't they learned? Right? And then you slowly realize that it's a process. And you've also gone through that process. And that sort of increased my patience levels for sure. And then the first 7 to 10 minutes that I told you, where I would let kids like share and talk about anything, I had to have a lot of patience to just keep shut and not interject, because I wanted to create a lot of open space for them. So I learned a lot of patience while I was teaching. Why teaching? That was a interesting time in my life where I actually was spending time in my hometown. So I come from this city called Balia, which is near Varanasi.
Okay.
In today's terms, you would call it a tier 3, tier 4 city. That's where I am born and brought up, and studied till my class 10th. Um, and then I went to Lucknow, studied for some time, and then I went to BITS, and that's when I realized that learning creates a dramatic shift in uh, who you are as a human being and what you can potentially do. That opens up you for multiple more things that you can do, and that's really what I wanted to share while I was spending time in my hometown. So I was trying to figure out what I want to do with my life, and while I hadn't figured out, I ended up spending like 5, 6 months doing this. I never planned to. I started with like the idea of, okay, for the next 2, 3 months, I'm gonna do this. But I ended up doing it for much longer. But the idea was to share and give back of what I felt should be done for where I come from the school that I come from, and the kids that I saw there. I felt that this needs a bit of changing, and this was my way of trying to make that change happen. I now look back and realize that maybe I could have done more, but well, I needed money, so.
I so much relate to your story because I mean, I have been the same person always. I have been, very interested in kids, right?
Okay.
Since a very long time. It's been more than 10 years. I started with teaching them in a very small NGO. At that time, the intention was just to, help someone. So I used to go like take their classes for 1 hour, 1 hour.
And this
And then
was, how old were these kids?
these were around 8th standard, 8th
Okay, got it.
standard girls and
Got
boys.
it. Got
Yeah,
it.
so they were learning a lot that time, and whatever subject, I mean, there was not a fixed subject, so whatever topic I wanted to teach them, I would teach them that
Okay.
topic.
Okay.
So one day I asked them a question that how you want to be in your life. So then one girl said, or what you want to achieve in your life. So one girl out of like the entire batch said that, oh no, I just wanted to be like you, like how you speak, I want to speak like you. And that really hit me hard. And I realized that I'm just doing it Maybe like just to spend my 1 hour doing a good deed, but that is impacting somebody a lot more than I'm thinking.
Correct.
And that's how my journey with kids started.
Nice.
After that, I've taught kids, especially during the COVID time when they could not go out and study.
Okay.
So I would take my laptop, gather everybody on a Zoom call, starting from our underprivileged kids, because that time I was in Jammu and we had a lot of people around who was working for us. They had their kids who can't go to school because of many reasons during COVID. So I used to teach them multiple subjects, including moral values, and we used to play some games. So it was a lot of fun. And they were very curious to come to the class and like learn something new. And the kind of way was not actually teaching, but actually promoting them to gel with each other, talk with each other, improve their communication. That was one. There was one word, konnichiwa, which is a greeting in Japanese that stayed with me.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Nice.
I enjoyed it so much.
So do you concur? Do you concur on the patience part?
I think I already have. I already had patience. So
Good for you.
So patience was already there, but I think that was the purpose I was solving for. Purpose was one thing I was solving for when I was teaching kids.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, I've thoroughly enjoyed the teaching bit. I think, but when I did the early years teaching, the 7th, 8th, by the way, for me was a choice. I was given like between 7th to 12th. I felt that maybe kids before that, I may not be able to create an imprint in their mind. And I thought that maybe by the time, at least where I come from, and I was the same city, I thought maybe by the time kids reach 9th and 10th, they've shaped up to a certain extent. So I thought maybe I'll take the middle path and try to influence that. That's why I chose that. But later on, when I started teaching, I was a teaching assistant, but I took classes for students who were in their graduation or finishing their graduation or in fellowship. That was a different ball game altogether. That was a different ball. That taught me more than patience. That taught me a lot about how do you structure it to convey your own not just concepts, but your thought process to someone in the most simplest fashion, which I think helps you in n number of ways. And maybe that was my first foray outside of my work, where I had to explain things to someone and then get them to say, "Yes, I have understood what you are saying." And that was a lot of fun. But that was a lot more challenging than teaching kids. I think teaching kids was way, way, way simple. They would believe half the things that you are saying anyway. So that worked out. But you taught in US as well.
In the US as well.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. How was that experience? How was it different from teaching in India, for example? And like I know the kids would be different, but
Yeah, it's all about kids because the kind of mental state they were in was very different.
then I have classes empty for a teacher to take for maths. That's really how the conversation started, and then I ended up starting to teach. Consulted a few other school principals as well during that journey. So I took a 5-6 months break and did that. And then I ended up working for a BI analytics consulting firm. I did that for more than a year. That taught me a lot as well. But around that time, I had a client. So I was based in Europe for a very brief period of time in Germany, in Hamburg. And I had one of my clients there in Hamburg took me out for a beer, and then he said, "Hey, I think you would be good at product." And I was like, "What is product?"
Okay.
And mind you, this was 2015, where people did not know what product as a function is. And he said, "Hold on, I will make you meet a friend." So he introduced me to his friend who told me a little bit about product. I still didn't get it. Once I came back, I realized that maybe I should think about working in product. And that's how I ended up at nearby.com. Used to be Groupon India at that time, and then became nearby.com. So that's how my product journey started. Now I want to know what the day-to-day looks like. I've seen the early days, but now I
So
haven't
early
seen
days, you know about the early days, right? It was all about pop-ups, more physical work, ground level work. I was the only one doing everything. I mean, I was obviously taking help of my family members. They were stepping up for me. My husband, my brother supported me, or my in-laws who used to come and like take care of home so that I can go out and like stand in the exhibitions. And so I had a lot of support, fortunately. 1 year was completely into just understanding the customer, who is buying my product, why they're buying my product, and just being there and showing up every day with another exhibition coming up next weekend.
बहन जी ये वाला अच्छा लग रहा है ज़्यादा. Is that?
Yeah.
I can
mean, you
only
say
imagine.
that.
I can only imagine. I don't have the taste for it, but
I mean, मतलब बहन से वो change हो चुका है culture, so that was much relieving for me. But yeah, I mean that was great. Abhi with the store coming up, then like 8 months back, I was doing everything alone and then managing, building the store. Like one day before the launch, I was awake till 3 a.m. and I didn't have any playbook on how the store will look like. I just have a picture in my mind, but what jewelry would go, how the displays would go, how many SKUs. Like there were around 500 SKUs that we started store for, and they were store with, and they were not nothing was out. And tomorrow, like we had to do the inauguration and like celebrate everything. So 3 a.m. I was in the store doing everything alone. But now here we have in the store we have like around 4 staff members. I don't need to go to the store. They do everything. It's all fully automated. We have 2 more stores coming up. We have a back office where online team sits and they look into the Myntra e-commerce operations and all the website stuff. So for me now it is more becoming for managing people than anything else. So now my energy gets into the growth part of it and managing people part of it.
Got it. Well, congratulations on the upcoming stores. I'm really excited to.
Thank you so much. I've heard that China also developed some humanoids. So what are your thoughts on that?
Hey, first of all, I have seen some of, now not humanoids, but like, for example, in the US market, I spent some time in LA. There are these cute little robots.
Oh, yeah, I've seen. I was there in downtown, right?
Correct. And they're roaming around the city. They have these blinking eyes.
I love them. I have a picture with it. So,
and they're doing deliveries, right?
Yeah.
They're doing deliveries.
So once I felt, I thought that there's somebody following me. And I turned back and I looked at this. What is this bot? Delivering food and like following me.
Correct. And they pop up from anywhere, by the way. It's really surprising. So why I was quoting that is I can already see the amalgamation of different I would say different and as well as cost efficient ways in which it is getting integrated, at least there. In India, I have not seen that happening yet. We have an Indian for almost everything at this moment. But jokes aside, my fundamental belief is that everything that we do today will have certain enablers that will get associated with it. So, for example, the workflow that I was telling you about is basically an enabler. It's an agent that is trying to make me more productive. It's as simple as that, right? Where I don't have to sit and look through and keep everything in my memory. Extend that thought process to these cute delivery bots, right? Which are basically making it efficient to deliver things. And you continue to extend that thought, right? So if you continue to extend that thought, you will realize that almost everything that you know today in your physical world and surrounding, a high percentage of that could be done by different kinds of enablers. Now, if they are humanoids, great. Will they be like fully autonomous or not? I don't know. Will they be cost effective? Because for anything that has to percolate and be more available, will have to be cost effective. So like the prices that you are quoting, like in an Indian market, it feels a little tricky to happen.
But there is a use case difference also, because there, I mean, imagine replacing a humanoid with a maid. full-time maid that you have, right, in India. So labor is cheap in India, right? Labor is a very big issue
Correct.
in the US market. So that's what they solved for.
Yeah.
Probably a humanoid would have different features for India.
Yes.
I don't know what they'll be solving for, but the problem that they're solving for India would be very, very different.
Yeah, so that's why I'm not imagining it to be a humanoid, and I was
So
saying
it is
that
not expensive for, I mean, I don't know if it is there for India market, but for US market, I feel that, you know, the kind of help, the kind of money that you pay to have a help at your home, this
Yeah.
is equivalent to that.
you can say that. And I think there are a bunch of great Indian companies which are already solving for, let's say, how do you do manufacturing at scale with, a bunch of the tricky manual labor task is now fully done by robots, so to say, or robotic arms, so to say, right? A lot of these companies have come up in the last 5 to 10 years. Uh, uh, again, so they're trying to solve for that problem where actually it makes sense to put in that money to solve for that problem at large scale. In our society, I don't know when that integration will come in. Like, for example, if you had to guess, there would barely be we get these cleaning small mini bots, right? You leave them on the floor.
Right, Roomba,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, you leave them on the floor and they'll clean
yeah.
the floor and go everywhere and
So they have
automatically and then go
multiple advanced
and then
versions
and then go there. They will park themselves somewhere at the
we had
corner,
it
right?
at
Like
our home.
correct.
So,
I'm saying now imagine how many people that you know in a setup like Bangalore where you think people have actually adopted it. It's
but that
really,
will
really
not
less.
work in India also, na?
Yeah. So the point I'm making is that I think we are a little far away from having that humanoid kind of a concept in our society. It is definitely there for different other use cases, and maybe our solutions would look different. The kind of robots or help that we would utilize or integrate in our household or in our day-to-day lives would look very different.
But do you think is money is the issue? Like, what is the problem? Like, what is the cause of it?
What is the cause of what? Like,
You said that will not be, will not be, for example, let's say Roomba, right? Not many people have Roomba in Bangalore, but what is the reason for that?
because let's say if it was somebody like me who had to wipe their floor every day, I definitely would utilize an alternate. But like the robot, right? Where I don't have to do it every day because it actually I have something that does it every day for me. But the other alternate that I have today is help that I can get very easily, right?
Yeah, so that's the main cause
correct.
of it.
So there is an alternate that exists to
Yeah.
solve my problem.
Yeah. So money is not the only issue that we have.
It is not the only issue because I have maybe a more efficient way of solving the same problem. And whenever there is an easy to get alternate solution, then I'm gonna choose that, or at least right now I am choosing to do that. Maybe 10 years from now, people will start making different choices. We'll see when we get there. But I don't think money is the only problem. I think producing such stuff for like much lesser cost, of course, will increase its probability to be used and adopted. But it also has to be efficient, which is basically it actually feels like, oh wow, this problem is solved for me. If that's not the case, then even if you give it for free, people won't use it.
Tell me one thing that you feel is weird about you.
Weird about me. Sometimes I don't know when to stop. That's it, really.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
But in this case, you knew where to stop, so. Okay. Tell me, is there anything that you would look back and would want to change for yourself?
There are always a lot of things that you think that you would want to change. I think one thing that I would want to change is to just tell myself that it'll be okay. It will be okay. That's it. I think certain points I worried too much. with the unknown, with the experiments. You've noticed, like, I've done too many things. So I worried a little bit too much, and I wish I just, instead of doing it differently, just could have told myself that it'll be okay, it'll be fine, it's okay. So yeah.
Okay, great.
Ready for difficult questions?
No, ready for one-word answers,
Oh
rapid fire.
no. See, I just told you I don't know when to stop.
But then I'll keep on asking you questions, so you will have to stop.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
Let's start it.
But there'll be few questions that you will also answer after I answer.
Okay, let's
Okay, let's do that.
bits or corporate life?
Bits.
One word for JioHotstar.
Fun and energetic, I would say.
Startup founder or corporate leader?
For somebody else, startup founder.
One app you cannot live without.
Chess.com right now.
Early morning person or late night thinker?
Late night thinker.
You said you think a lot, so I assume you are a late night
Late
thinker.
night thinker.
One habit that helped your career the most?
Late night thinking.
I knew this is coming.
No, I'll caveat that. Putting your thoughts together in one place and evaluating them almost every year to see what parts you've grown on and what parts you need to improve on. That I think has been the biggest thing that has helped me.
One mistake that taught you the biggest lesson?
Quite a few. I think changing countries.
That's true for me too, by the way. One piece of advice for someone starting their career today?
Just be hungry to learn and don't be anxious about what the next 5 years look like. I believe the more skill sets that you can gather in the beginning, the better you will grow as a human being and as a professional later. So compound the skill sets early. Don't worry about the money and the designation. They will come.
If you weren't into tech or media, what would you be doing?
Teaching.
One startup wish you had invested in earlier?
Again, there are quite a few.
Okay, quickly, one.
I think Pixel Space Tech. I knew of them. I'd seen their first pitch deck. I just didn't know if I should be investing in a startup. I just did not know that as a concept.
One overrated buzzword in the startup world?
Fundraise.
Okay, that was it. It was so much fun, Vipul. I enjoyed our conversation so much. I could see that you were very patient this time, which you said you have learned from teaching. I really enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for
I love
having me.
hearing your adventurous journey. Truly, it was very, very adventurous. And,
This is a sanitized adventure journey. No, but thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much for
And I'm super excited to see all the new journeys that you are taking now, including this one. And yeah, best of luck. I'm rooting for you and Sorele both, and definitely looking forward to the next invite.
Sure.
For the store.
As I said, you don't need an invite. We'll just tell you the dates.
Yes.
Okay,
All right,
thank you so
much.
much. Thank you so
Take
much.
care.
Okay.